Welcome back. That has been a very long waited video. We are finally doing some more work on Dave the MR2 and we are working on his V6 engine. As you can see, it's hanging in the air. I have been working with a guy called Paul Woods. His link for his whole website and everything will be down below. Paul Woods is the absolute guru at doing V6 conversions, especially when it comes to the MR2. He does 1MZ, 3MZ, and he's also doing the 2GR stuff as well. So the reason why I went to Paul is because, like I say, he's the guru. He knows everything. He has sorted the loom for me. So we took up the loom from the MR2 and the loom from the Lexus, and obviously he's converted the Lexus loom to include the bits needed to work in the MR2. I've also got a few other bits and bobs for him. From him, sorry. So we have a nice new clutch here, and the flywheel has been machined to fit, obviously, the bell housing and that of the Lexus. We have obviously a new bearing to go there. We have Paul Woods engine mount. This is what he makes. He manufactures these and sells these as well as the little bit there just to space it out, the little spacer. They're the stuff that came from the Lexus, which are now going to fit into the MR2. We have a polybush here which goes on one of the engine mounts at the front, and then we have a lovely fuel pressure regulator, and the last but not least the clocks from the MR2, as you can see, with this lovely little wire hanging out. And this here is, if you can see there's a little flat head marking on it. That's so you can set the rev when you know it's idling at 800, 900 or whatever it's idling at. You can adjust that and tweak it so it sits right, and then it'll rev perfectly fine. Because if you're not already aware, obviously it was 4-cylinder before, so it receives a different set of signals when it's 4-cylinder, and obviously it's now a 6-cylinder engine, so it's a different set of signals. So he's had to do a bit of jiggery pokery in there to make it all work, and you just fine tune it with that little guide there. So as it stands at this moment in time, the loom is fully attached to the engine. We are now about to put the clutch, flywheel assembly onto the actual bell housing. I believe we may have to make another bolt hole somewhere for another bolt to line up, because there's not that many bolt holes that line up. I think there's 3 or 4, and I'm sure Paul would mention that we have to do that. But I don't know exactly which one it is until we get the gearbox lined up with it. That's very close. And then we can go ahead and get it in the car. We won't be getting it running today, but I've just had the birth of my son, and time is of the essence, and Nick was free, so Nick's currently hiding off camera at this moment in time, and he's helping me chuck it in today, so then I can do all the smaller bits and get it running, hopefully in the garage over winter, out of the nasty weather that we have up at Leeds, because there's going to be snow and there's going to be storms, as there always is. But today it's bright, sunny, we're making the most of it. So there's your update so far. We'll bring the camera back in when we get to some more interesting parts. We're connecting the flywheel and the clutch and all that into the MR2. The engine itself is good to go. The gearbox was not, because we've got to do a bit of finagling. So we need to drill a hole in the bell housing here to make the bolts work. We have 2 bolts there, 1 bolt there. We need 2 dowels, and we didn't have 2, we only had 1, so that was a bit alarming. So I've gone to my good friend Paul Woods, who's actually sent me another dowel in. And then there's another bolt that goes through from the other side, and because it's been sat there for a week, it's decided to drop all its gearbox oil, which is just what you want. And now my garage stinks. So just so you're aware about the dowels, we removed one, which was a mistake, and there is another dowel. So we have 2 gearbox dowels now. We've got to put them back in, so the gearbox has to come off, and then we can put the dowels in, drill the hole and put the gearbox back on, and then actually put it into the car. That was the plan anyway. Some bits and bobs still to be fitted. We've got, I think it's all in the car. There's the bushing that we need to mount. There's one of the engine mounts that we need. Everything else is on the gearbox pretty much. One goes there, one goes there, one goes... I've already lost it. There's 3 on the gearbox. So 1, 2, it's got to be on the other side. I think it's on the car. And then the other one goes on there. That's all the mounts. So fingers crossed we actually get it mounted today. But we're going to have to start off by splitting it first. Right, Nick's on his way back round, so let's get ready. So the gearbox is now back off again for the 40th, 50th time. You'll see that we have no dowels, and we need to put them back in to the housing. One goes there, and one goes, yes, Either that one or that one, I can't remember, but I can match it up with a gearbox. Because it should be that one there. So it's whichever one that one matches up with, which I think is that one there. Put them back in, make sure the clutch is aligned, drill out this hole with a 10mm drill bit, and then we've got a M12 by 1.25 tap to put some thread into it. Then that will actually give us another bolt. While I remember, Nick, there is actually a bolt that goes the other way, towards the bottom somewhere. Yes, it's a smaller bolt. So that will give us 2 bolts at the top, one on the side, a dowel, and then another bolt at the bottom. And apparently that's okay. That is enough to hold this gearbox, which to me sounds a little bit weird because there's next to nothing on the bottom, but I'm not the expert. So I'm just going to show you what we've ended up doing, and the fact that we've had to use I already forgot what gauge this is. A vernier gauge, there we go. Some delicate measuring equipment, because I do not have a clutch alignment tool, even though my eye wasn't that bad, in my opinion. So first things first, the dowels are in. We have one dowel there, one dowel up over there, you can see that on the camera. We have obviously drilled this hole with a 10mm drill bit, and then put the tap in it as we mentioned before. So we now have another bolt hole. This is what I was using originally to put the clutch in and move it around, and then we have used this vernier gauge, or vernier calipers, whatever the correct terminology is, to slide through here, measure from the flywheel to the friction material, measuring all the areas to get it roughly right. 2 of the measurements come out at bang on, and 1 is a mil out. So theoretically now we'll put the gearbox on, it should all line up. That's better than doing it by eye, because we ended up taking the dowels out last time because it was that far out, and we never thought of the reason why. And there we go. Thank you, Paul Woods, for telling us that we have to have dowels in. If you were like us and thought the freaking mount that went on the bulkhead was broken because you had this silly rubber thing that just rotated round, and I'm pretty sure you probably saw it in the video when I took it off, rattling it around. Well, it's not broken. That is exactly how it's designed to come from factory. You buy a brand new one. Paul Wood says it comes exactly the same because it's designed just to take any knockings out of the engine. Well, Paul Wood supplies that, and that takes out all the movement, and you fit that, and it now becomes a proper engine mount that actually mounts the engine and stops it from moving instead of allowing it to move. So we need to clean this up, which Nick forgot to bring his tool because he locked it away, and we're gonna have to do it with sandpaper, and then get some lube on that, or some washing up liquid like we have done through the stuff, and then push it in place, which I'm sure will be interesting. And then you can put that on your car, and then you've got a nice new mount. As you can see, we have a car in the air very sketchily. That's how you do it with the MR2s. Engine is pretty much ready to roll underneath. Subframe and everything is out, all unbolted as you can see over there. A nice big void, but we're going to have to get the car higher in the air now so we can roll it underneath. Once it's roughly in the right place, we'll be able to lower the car over the engine, hopefully not squash anything, and then get it up into place. Obviously we'll have the mount that goes on the back there. That's the one that we've seen with the yellow bush. There's this mount here, which is not the right mount now. Or is that not the right mount? We need to have a look at these mounts, Nick.
The driver's side one's not the right mount.
That's not the right mount.
That's not the right mount.
Okay, good. Okay, so that one, so that needs to come out before we put the other one in. So we'll do the one on the engine and that one at the same time. Yep. Then they're done. And then the other mount goes on the subframe, which obviously you can't see because subframe is off. So we'll lower it, attach it to that, and then I might leave the subframe off. Oh no, I'll have to put the subframe on now to put the wheels on to move the car again. But there's a bit of work I need to do with anti-roll bars and stuff, but jobs for other days, I suppose. Right then, mount, then get the engine in. And it's supposed to be 14 degrees and sunny. That's what the weather says right now, but it's foggy. It's all just foggy. Everywhere's. I live at the side of an airport and I've heard like 2 planes all day. So it was an absolute pain in the butt, and the weather's atrocious. There's no way of actually trying to film getting it in, but effectively car was really high, pushed it in on the wheels second time round because it fell off the wheels the first time round. We are just trying to attach this mount here. As you can see there, this is the one that's provided by Paul Woods that you can purchase from. Once we've got that side on, we'll be able to just lift the engine up then better, get these ones on the gearbox. That'll give us both sides on. Then we can get the car back up in the air, get the subframe on, do the rear one, and then bolt the front one as well. And the engine will be secure and not likely to drop out. Alright, it's time to have a bit of an update because it's been several months since I last did the work on the MR2. It is sat in the garage all over winter and over Christmas, and quite literally it's just sat there. Nothing's happened. There it is, lot. It's become a home to some rabbit cages. Might I add, there's no freaking rabbits in them. If anybody would like a rabbit cage, let me know. Here we have a freaking locked engine cover. Now this is going to be fun. I've got stuff in it everywhere. Oh no! Damn it, this is what happens when you leave a code. Oh god, look at it down there. Lovely. It's not the first time I've had mould in the car. Oh, cracky me. Right, guys, can you see where the freaking thing is for the engine cover? Oh, it's back here, isn't it? I forgot on the MR2, it's back here. Alright, there we go. It's always fun to climb over your car. It's covered in crap. Oh, well, my intention is to actually get it running in the next video. Believe it or believe it not. Come on, I've just undone it. Apparently I haven't undone it enough. What's going off here? Here's me thinking I've freaking undone it. Why did I even lock it? Oh, there we go. Why the hell did I even lock it? I don't know. Oh, but there we are, look. We have an engine. An engine. Oh, bloody thing. Right. So an engine that's quite a bit tilted forward. That's because it's missing a engine mount at this moment in time, which will be the one that goes on the bulkhead, because I've not actually attached it yet. Yeah, that's obviously attached. That one's attached, and the one at the bottom is attached. So there's 3 out of the 4 attached at this moment in time. That's going to be it for this video, mainly because we've put an engine in it. I know it's been quite short, but it wraps it up. In the next video, my fingers are crossed that we get it running. So we've got bolts to put in everywhere, we've got an engine mount to fit, fuel lines to attach, fuel pressure gauge to fit and make work, clocks to put in, the loom to feed through and connect all the ECUs up, all the coolant hoses. Oh yeah, that's one thing I ain't bought, coolant. I thought I bought everything. I ain't got no coolant. I need to buy some coolant. Which will be fun to bleed this engine up. The hoses I need to connect. Don't even know if the hose is in the right freaking place, so no idea on that one. Yeah, there's a lot of work to do, but my intention is to hopefully get it running in the next video. So I shall see you in the next video. Wish me well, and I'll catch you very soon, guys. Take care. See you soon.